Deleted session, October 18, 1978. Good evening. I see that the Oktoberfest begins. Now, there is one main issue in particular that mitigates against a full life, generally speaking, and that shows itself in many instances in either physical illness or in the illness of poor relationships or lack of fulfillment. It shows itself particularly in any kind of obsessive behavior, mental or physical. It is the overly developed, exaggerated, unnatural need for safety. Such an exaggerated need for safety is quite rampant in your society. It leads to the setting up of barrier after barrier to protect the self both against the self and against the outside world. Briefly, for I have said this before, all of your disciplines have seen the natural self as unsavory in its basic character. You cannot be afraid of yourself and not be afraid of others. Such attitudes lead to over-control of body or environment, or of other people. A family tyrant, for example, may have no physical symptoms at all, yet be quite obsessed with controlling the family members, stuffing the household with regulations, limiting the family's freedom, or whatever. No unpredictability is allowed. Life becomes a series of habits, and in the mentally ill, for example, you may have seemingly meaningless habits, compulsively performed. People generally in your society find little opportunity to work with the natural self, to explore its characteristics, much less be convinced of its good intent. Tonight, Robert has evidence for the good intent of his natural self. It surprised him because he allowed it to. He treated his body like a tyrant treats his people, and the body strenuously objected. But the body does not hold a grudge, and so it has begun to respond to Ruber's new attitude, and the new attitude allows him to allow the body's expression. I have said too often that the body was not diseased, and it is not. The speed, the normal agility, is there to be unlocked. Forget what you have heard again about what the body can and cannot do, or what must happen before such and such a performance appears. For the body itself exalts in creative unpredictability and given a chance loves to perform. Habitual patterns can be broken overnight with creative unpredictability, and the creative unpredictability is of course one of life's greatest characteristics. It sprouts everywhere, at any age, with seemingly new opportunities and fulfillments, whenever it is given the chance. A few old handovers, simply to be aired so they do not remain underground. This is old material, but Rubert's mother used to tell him that he destroyed everything he touched. So when his books began to sell well, and for reasons given, he worried about this energy of his. Since his work was new, he had only faith in himself to go on, and that faith was indeed shaky at times. Keep that in mind, then, and discuss it. He has decided to work. The body instantly knows when the decision is made. A prudent understanding of the need for safety is wise and built in, but no animal or person can operate fully under constant implied threats. The sense of safety can be amplified by a concentration upon the moment, and by the realization that those feared threats are indeed imaginary and self-created. Ruber might go on television, for example, 50 times, to be met by applause, acclaim, and understanding, but in his reality, imaginatively, he would be met by scorn and derision. He need never go on television. But he must understand that the safety factor is built in and is dependable. If he understands that, then he has full freedom and full safety. Again, he does not have to feel, and he should not feel, that ideally he should be a public personality going abroad to sell our ideas. That kind of personality would not be the kind to get this particular kind of information or this kind of particularization to begin with. Ruber's fears gave him a black or white attitude. He must be public or private. There are many gradations between the two that would suit him quite well. What he is feeling now is the natural energy that comes through his physical being. A few remarks before we close for the evening. There is no doubt Ruber has made a breakthrough, and so have you. In terms of your ideas, for what I call illustrated set material, for you will find that you are uniting abilities, so that writing and painting no longer seem opposing abilities. With a distance between them, you will find that they are both creative arms of your basic psychic being, and that both abilities will be sharpened and fulfilled as a result. Have Ruber continue reading the station each morning as he has been doing, and look forward to further events for your autumn feast. You will also find your own dreams giving you material and obsession and a fond good evening. Ross said, "Thank you very much," said good night.